Hey gang, it's Michael Kostroff, and today I'm sharing with you a letter from Laura, who is somebody who's taken my Audition Psych 101 workshop and somebody I'm very fond of. She says, "Hi Michael, the topic is, am I being a lazy or too picky actor? Here's the dilemma. A local repertory theater that I've been auditioning for just put out their new season. The one show that I think I would have a shot at goes up in the dead of winter, and the location is not that great or easy to get to. Even with paid housing, I would feel more comfortable staying in the next city closest. So in my mind, I struggle back and forth whether to go to the audition or take a pass. I just hate winter driving, and the location can get a little dicey at night. Given that parts are very few and far between, I truly wonder if I'm being too lazy or too picky. Does this make me a less passionate actor, or does this make me an actor who's comfortable in their own skin and their own limits on what they will or will not do?" I'll start with the end, Laura. And I say it all the time. There is so rarely an absolute answer to any of this stuff. It's a case-by-case basis. It's where you are in your career. It's a lot of factors. It's how much do you hate the winter driving, etc. I think it is a great thing to get to the point in your journey as an actor where you recognize that you have some agency. You do get to decide that there are some things you don't want to do. And I think that's an important awareness. And there's I always can give you 2 or 3 or 7 sides to any debate. So I will say that there's a case to be made also for go have the experience. I'm pretty much usually happier if I'm in something than not in something. Also, we're talking about an audition at this point. Nobody's offered you shit, as I always say to myself. Nobody's offered you shit. Relax. So if the only question is whether or not to go to the audition, I land on the side of yes. You know, it's a chance to act on a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Friday, and it's a chance to do what you love doing for a few minutes. So I'm almost always in favor of the audition. Beyond that, if the unlikely happens, because again, most auditions do not result in job offers. If the unlikely happens and they offer you the job, then you've got a decision to make, and you get to make it however you want to make it. There's a case to be made for go have the experience. For what, regardless of conditions, let me have another experience in my journey as an actor. That could be your answer. Or, I don't like winter. I don't like winter driving. I don't like the location. I decline. And I'm allowed to do that. I think the important thing is give yourself the agency to make the decision without a self-judgment factor and worrying about what anybody else thinks. And try them on. You know, there's that old practice of writing down the pros in one column and the cons in the other column. Or trying on each scenario in your head and going, okay, I'm not going to do it. How does that feel? Okay, I'm going to do it. How does that feel? As simple as that is, I find that very clarifying. Because one of those things you're going to go, oh, no. You know. So Laura, once again, I've been of little or no value other than to remind you that this is a you question that you get to make, and there's not really a wrong answer. I also will remind you that the past doesn't predict the future. For some reason, you might not mind the winter driving this time. Maybe the city's better than it was. I don't know. I would tell you I've had an awful time in Cleveland and a lovely time in Cleveland. So who knows? I think if there's a lesson in this video, please God, I think the lesson is to give yourself the authority to make the choice and not think that you're doing it wrong. Because if you're very lucky in this business, you have a string of these decisions to make. I think we gotta get better at going, this is what I'm gonna do. All right, friends, that's all I have to say about it. I hope you have more insights, opinions. Feel free to give Laura your opinions. And I'll see you all next week with some more thoughts. Okay, bye-bye.